In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how you can hire a virtual assistant for your Amazon online arbitrage business. And this is exactly how I've scaled my Amazon business from zero to right now we do about $70,000 a month from the help of my Amazon virtual assistant team, while I personally spend less than an hour per day on the business. And if you don't know me already, my name is Maxwell. I help online arbitrage sellers stuck between about $5,000 to $25,000 per month scale to $50,000 per month and beyond with the help of an Amazon virtual assistant. So if you are not yet subscribed, subscribe, and let's get right into the video. And that leads me to step number one, which is before you even think about hiring a virtual assistant, you want to identify the bottleneck right now in your Amazon business. What is currently holding you back from making more money and increasing those orange bars? You know, there's a couple different examples. You could have capital issues or restraints. Maybe you just don't have enough time to spend on the business and source. You're busy, you have a full-time job, or maybe you currently lack the sourcing skills or knowledge, and so it's taking you a lot longer to actually find profitable leads and deals, or just overall you're having trouble with lead flow and it's holding you back from scaling. So if you fall into basically any of these categories, you know, a virtual assistant can be a next great step, which is any sort of lead flow issues. You know, a lot of you, you know how to sell on Amazon, you have capital, but if you don't have enough leads coming in, whether that's you finding them or it's going to be really tough to scale. Now, also, I've talked to a lot of people that their time is just limited. You know, maybe they have a full-time, part-time job. Maybe they're a stay-at-home mom. Like life kind of gets in the way and they're having a hard time finding enough time to really scale it to where it can potentially become a full-time income. And also a lot of people, maybe a large portion of their time is spent on the business, not doing product research. And so they're spending time on admin tasks, you know, hopefully not, you know, maybe inventory prep, account health, returns, and, you know, it's taken time away from them actually doing product research, which allows them to find new leads, spend money, and grow the business. So if you fall into any one of these situations or categories, a next great step can be hiring a virtual assistant. So that leads us to step number two, which is the hiring process. So I personally use onlinejobs.ph. These are basically people overseas in the country of the Philippines that are looking for full-time work. Now, this website has worked best for me. I know there's some others out there. You know, there's Upwork, Fiverr. Personally, Online Jobs has worked best for me, especially finding people that are looking for full-time work, not freelancers or projects, people that are going to work for me full-time and for the long term. So that leads you've got to create a job post. So what is a job post? How do you create it? What does it look like? Well, to make it easy on you guys, I've got two examples here. One is really good in my opinion, and one is not so good. So I'll quickly break these down for you. But the overall goal for a job post is to alert the community, alert people that are looking for jobs, and to properly sell your job is how I like to word it. You're going to want virtual assistants, these people in the Philippines, to come to your job post, and you're going to want them to read it, fully understand what the job is, and be excited to work for you, to apply to your job, your opportunity, instead of others, because there's a lot of people that post these opportunities. Trust me, I've seen them. I'm in the mix as well. And you can often see the job posts that are good and the ones that, you know, maybe aren't so good. So let's hop into this one. So this is the example of a very well-written, put-together job post. It's spaced well. It explains what they're looking for, what the role would include, so there's not any confusion. You know, they've got some things here like we would really prefer if you have Keepa experience, Google Sheets. So they're obviously looking for someone that is more on the experience side that has done this before. But most importantly, I want to point out the benefits. This was really what makes anyone that reads your job post want to work for you. Oh, if I work for you, I can work flexible hours. I can get time off. I can get competitive pay with bonuses. This is what really sells your job. This is how you get 150 to 175 people reaching out requesting to have your job. And then of course they have some quick questions down here just to get a kind of a feel for, you know, past experience, categories they maybe like to source in, just collecting a little bit more information. Now, this is an example of a not so well put together job post. First off, it's just really clumped up. It's just a paragraph. It's not nice and spaced out. And if you read it, there's nothing exciting here. It's not explaining any benefits or perks for working for the company. It kind of breaks down the role, but there's nothing that you're going to have a lot more people that read this one and want to work for this guy or girl instead of this person right here. So great example of a well put together job post, and then one that I think is just rushed, not well put together, and you're just not going to get the best candidates applying, and you're also not going to get as many candidates applying. And the goal is to get as many people to apply as possible. So after you've posted a great job post, that leads us to step number 3 is you need to sift. You need to filter through these prospects. And, I've become pretty good at this as I've done this, quite a few times. I run a company where we literally bring on virtual assistants, train them, find the best of the best, the needle in the haystack, and then we put them in online arbitrage sellers' businesses. So we've done this before, but if you put out a solid job post like this one, don't be surprised if you have 150 people that apply to your job post. Now, for someone their first time, that can be extremely overwhelming. And most sellers don't know how to handle that many prospects. Maybe they read their resumes, then they find the top 5 or 6 they think in their head, and they line up, interviews. In my opinion, this is not the best approach, because the overall goal is to filter out the good candidates from the bad candidates. And one great way to do this is with the sample project approach. So basically, anyone that applies to your job post, your opportunity, you want to provide a quick sample project to really test their experience and their skills. Now, first off, this job sample project should not be long. It should not take more than 30 minutes. Please be respectful of their time. And this sample project could really be anything that you want. I know some people have created sample projects and they're like, hey, here's 3 different, online arbitrage leads. Give me your overall feedback. Why is this a good lead, or why is it a bad lead? Where can you find this? You want to quickly kind of test for their experience. I'm not going to give the exact one I use because I don't want it to get, too saturated, but just kind of map out a few different ideas, projects. You can DM me. I can send you some examples as well. But the goal is to filter out the good from the bad. And what you'll actually learn is, let's say 100 people applied to your job post, maybe only 30 to 50% are actually going to complete the sample project. And for me, that's great because that eliminates all the people that are not serious, all the people that are just going to every single job post and they're just spamming out their resume, trying to get an opportunity. Like, I want people that are serious and that are willing to do anything for the opportunity. And so it's a great way to really filter through people. So that leads us to step number 4, which is actually grading the sample project. Now, personally, my team and I, we grade on a scale of 1 to 5. 1, it was perfect. They were using terminology, keywords we liked. They did a great job. That's really what we look for. I don't really feel like I did a great job explaining, examples of a sample project, I guess because the one I use, I don't want to give away. I know some people, they ask for leads. They're like, hey, send me 2 leads or 3 leads. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of that because first off, it takes the virtual assistant a lot of time to find 2 or 3 leads. However, if you can make it a paid sample project, hey, for this amount of money, can you provide me 3 leads? And you're willing to spend $100, $200 to collect these projects, you're really going to be able to see, what people, have the experience level that you're looking for, especially if you're looking for like a product sourcing VA. It's probably good to hear, what product research methods they use. Maybe they could record a quick 3 to 5 minute Loom video on how they like to do product or just a screen share of how they like to do product research. Maybe you can ask them their favorite, websites they like to source from or how they find coupons. Just really try to get a feel for their experience level. But overall, like I said, there's only going to be a percentage of people that complete the sample project. So those are your serious candidates. And then you want to go through each of those sample projects and you want to grade them because you want to find, the needle in the haystack, the best of the best, someone that has experience, so that does great work, so that when you place them in your Amazon business, day 1, they're able to deliver that value. Now, first off, you're going to want to select, your top few prospects and you're going to want to interview them because obviously experience is one thing, but, I really like to look for people's personality, their excitement level, and I'm able to, really get a feel for somebody somebody in terms of an employee once I'm able to speak to them. So you're going to want to line up a couple people for interviews. That leads us to number 5, which is basically you're going to want to interview your top prospects. Now, if I'm hiring one virtual assistant, typically I like to, break down and figure out who are my top 5 to 8 prospects. And I'll like to set up maybe, a 20-minute, Zoom interview call with them. And I'll schedule them back to back to back. And, you can do it 15 minutes if you don't have enough questions, or you can do it for 30 minutes if you have a whole list of questions. But your overall goal is to interview the people that did the absolute best on the sampler projects, your top prospects. And then obviously your goal is to ask enough questions where you feel confident narrowing down your top candidates to where you can make a selection. Now, of course, you might run into the opportunity where you have, 2 virtual assistants or maybe 3 and you're having a hard time deciding. Trust me, I've been there. Great position to be in. What I like to do is I like to give all 2 of them or all 3 of them the opportunity to do a paid trial. And so you can give them a 1-week paid trial or maybe 2 weeks and just have them do the same work. If they're product sourcers, just let them do their thing. And what you'll do is after that week, after those 2 weeks, you're able to, obviously compile a week's or 2 weeks of work from each of those top candidates. And after about a week or definitely 2 weeks, you're going to be able to see who has performed the best, who gave you the best leads, maybe quantity of leads, or, which virtual assistant were you able to spend the most money on their leads. And then you can proceed with obviously that best prospect. That leads us to step number 6, final step, which is training. Obviously a huge step, and this could be an entire video in itself, but I feel like there's 2 huge steps to really having a great team member that can help you scale your Amazon business. Step number 1 is finding that needle in the haystack that has experience, a good attitude, is excited. And then step number 2, which is the training process to build a solid connection and foundation with that team member. Now, this comes down to just being a good leader, and trust me, you'll get better at this over time. When I first started, I wasn't super good, but instead of getting right into the business, this is another human being. Build a connection with them on a personal level. This is what I think I do really well with my team. I know what they like to do in their free time. I know a lot about their family, their hobbies. Being able to connect on a deeper level makes it not so much, a boss and employee, but almost like a friendship. And that tends to really work well for both sides. Now, of course, I've worked, not only myself, but I've worked with a lot of Amazon sellers to help them scale with their first virtual assistant. The quickest and most profitable way to scale your Amazon business with the virtual assistant is to get them thinking and operating just like you, the Amazon seller. And so the best way to do this is to pass down the knowledge, the techniques, the strategy, what you know to that virtual assistant, because the virtual assistant is coming to you and, they have experience, they know how to use, softwares like Kiba, SellerAmp, they have a good feel for how they like to do product research. But when you, the Amazon seller, can pass your knowledge over to them, that's when things really start getting exciting. This could be getting on one-on-one Zoom calls and showing them how you like to do product research. Maybe some of your favorite websites or brands that you like to source from. Maybe how you like to find coupon codes or sales, markdowns, discounts, all really good information that you can pass to your virtual assistant. Definitely is going to help. And then if you want to write anything down from this training, when you hire your virtual assistant, especially if they're a sourcing virtual assistant, the most important thing that you can do is provide feedback on the leads that they provide you. This is extremely important, especially when starting out. Obviously, when they provide you a lead, you're going to approve it or not approve it, but you want to go much deeper. If you approve the lead and you purchased it, you want to leave some feedback, some notes on why you like that lead, why you purchased it, so the virtual assistant can understand and go out and find find more leads just like that. And if for some reason you do not approve the lead, you did not purchase it, it's even more important to provide feedback on why that lead was not approved, maybe what the issue was, so that they can learn from that mistake, learn from that issue, and they won't provide any leads like that in the future. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into this, but also feel free to share your vision. Hey, I'm doing about $25,000 a month right now. I think that with your help, we can get to 40,000, 45,000. Let them feel like they're important, and that, because they are important, and that they fill a huge role in helping you actually scale the business. And of course, the more communication you have with your virtual assistant, whether that's on one-on-one Zoom calls or that's, messaging through WhatsApp, emailing, your goal is to serve as a leader, a coach, and a mentor to help build the skills that virtual assistant needs to really help scale your Amazon business. So with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Just some feedback on me. I run a company called the VA Fastlane, and we help provide skilled online arbitrage sourcing virtual assistants that we actually place into our Amazon seller clients' businesses. So if you watched this entire video, thank you so much. I hope that if you are looking to create a job post, hire an Amazon virtual assistant, I hope that this video gives you some more confidence and that you can go out and do it. Now, for those of you that maybe want to, fast track this process, you have money to spend on the business, you know how to sell on Amazon, but maybe you're not super interested in going through the process of putting out a job post, creating a sample project, grading it, you think it's going to take a lot of time, I'd highly recommend reaching out to me. I'm the owner of the VA Fastlane. We are a company who basically finds, trains skilled sourcing online arbitrage virtual assistants, and we have clients come to us, they pay us a fee, and we actually help the client by placing a skilled product sourcing VA directly into their Amazon business, and then we help them scale that Amazon business with their new virtual assistant for a period of time. So if that is of interest to anyone and you would like to learn more about how you can get a online arbitrage sourcing virtual assistant from my company, and you don't have to go through everything that I took the last 15 minutes or so explaining, go to the description of this video. I have a link below where you can book a call directly with me. On that call, I want to learn a little bit more about your Amazon business and see if you are a good fit for my virtual assistant placement service. Of course, if you just have some questions, want to learn a little bit more about it, there will also be a link below to my Instagram. If you're not following me, definitely go follow me. I've got a ton of great free content on there. Try to post as much as I can. So definitely follow me on Instagram and just DM me the word VA. That way I know you came from YouTube and that you're looking more towards hiring, your first online arbitrage sourcing virtual assistant. And obviously I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have. So with that being said, go ahead and check the links below in the description of this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.